Good afternoon, students. Welcome to class 7 chemistry class. I have discussed your new syllabus. Now chapter 5, this is the atomic structures. The new chapters, this is the atomic structures. Okay, these things you have already studied from earlier 6 or 7. What is symbol, what is element, what is matters. All these things you have learned. Okay. Now atomic structure means properly have to know what is atoms. Okay. First, what is atoms? First things have to know properly. What is atom? The smallest particles of element that possesses all properties of element is called the atom. What is atom? This is the smallest particles. The smallest particles of elements. This show the all properties of elements. This is called atoms. On given example, if you break a piece of iron into small pieces, if you break one piece of iron, take a iron and break the small pieces. Okay, all these things, small pieces of iron show the properties of iron. Okay, you will not get the new things. The properties show all things of small pieces show the properties of iron. On breaking them further, you will obtain the smaller and smaller pieces. Again you break down, you will get further smaller and smaller pieces. But all the smaller pieces show the properties of the iron. They never change. But it is the smallest, that's why the atom is the smallest smallest particles that retain the properties of iron and that are the irons of atoms. What is the atoms? That is the smallest particles of element that possesses all properties of elements. Okay, smallest particles of element is called atoms. If iron undergoes chemical change, then must be started from the smallest particles of iron. This we come to the atoms, the smallest element that take place in chemical changes. The small particles take place in the chemical changes also. It take place also chemical changes. Okay, but one thing that this is the first Democritus, the Greek scientist, was put forward the idea about the elements splitting into minute particles. What is this? This scientist is that Greek scientist Democritus. Okay, Democritus. This is the first put forward the idea for the splitting into minute particles. He named these particles as atoms. After that, he named these particles. What is this? This one is the atoms. Names the particles, and which means the indivisible. Which means indivisible. Okay. This according to the Greek scientist Democritus. Okay, Democritus. Okay. This is the atoms indivisible. After that, later in the 1808, what is this? 1808, this is the first English scientist proposed that Dalton's atomic theory. Dalton, this is the John Dalton proposed that Dalton atomic theory. This is called Dalton's atomic theory. This is called Dalton's atomic theory. Dalton, very much importance. Dalton's atomic theory. What is this theory? Have to learn. Okay, what includes in theory? Elements are made up of small divisible particles called the atoms. Elements are made up of small divisible particles. This is called atoms. Atoms are given elements are the identicals. Atoms are given elements are the identical but differ from the atoms or other element. If the one element, all the atoms, the one element, the atoms are the identicals. All the atoms are identical, but they are the different from the other elements. If the suppose one iron and one copper, the atoms are different from the irons and copper, both the different atoms is present. But in the all the elements, all the atoms present in the iron, this one is the identical. Okay. And atoms cannot be subdivided, created or destroyed. This very much important line. This is the atom cannot be destroyed. According to, I am talking about according to Dalton. Okay, Dalton atomic theory. Atoms cannot be destroyed or the divisible, destroyed, created or subdivided. Atoms of different elements combine in simple whole number ratio to form a chemical compounds. If the atoms of different elements atom are combined in a simple whole number ratio to form chemical compound. Atoms are different compounds are mixed together and to form a chemical compounds. Atom take part in chemical reaction. Atom also take part in chemical reaction. These all are included in Dalton's atomic theory. Atoms cannot be subdivided, destroyed and created. Okay, atoms are given elements are identical, but atoms are the difference from the others elements. Also, the atoms are different elements are compound and to form the chemical compound. Atom take part in all chemical reaction. Atom take part in all chemical reaction. This one the Dalton theory. Dalton's atomic theory. Very much important theory. Have to learn properly. Okay, this one the English scientist. After that, I will discuss the subatomic particles. Subatomic particles. Okay.